For our first patch called Vibrato Tractor, we're going to use LFO1 to create vibrato. That will be to change the pitch of oscillators 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and set our destination to oscillator 1 and 2. And now let's listen to our audio model, and I'm going to use the solo mode here. And now I've got it in XOR mode, so we can toggle between the two tracks. So let's go ahead and listen to our audio model. And let's listen to our... I'm hearing a little bit of, it seems like vibrato, but that's actually detuning of the oscillators. Let me untune our oscillators here, or matter of fact, tune them both to 0, and now it'll be a real flat sound. Okay, now that we've got that, we can always detune those later to kind of fatten up our sound. Let's go ahead and bring up our rate control here and see what we get. Okay, so let's bring up our rate. Spacebar. Nothing. Let's bring it up all the way. Nothing there. Well, let's bring up the amount control. We can't break anything by turning it up full. All right, we're definitely getting something. Let's turn down the amount. Let's turn down that rate. Let's turn down that amount. No, only that right there with the amount very low, we're only getting a little bit of pitch change, a little bit above, and a little bit above, and a little bit below the note centers. Let's keep increasing that amount. As you can hear, as I increase the amount, I get more pitch change above and below the original note center. Let's go ahead and set our amount to about 30 here. There you go, 31's close enough. And let's experiment with our rate. Let's go ahead and change that to right there. Let's check our model. Pretty close on the rate and amount. Let's experiment with the waveform here. No, that's not it. Let's turn down that rate so we can really hear the waveform a little better. No. Square wave? No. Random wave? No. It really is that triangle wave. Yep. Let's bring that rate back up to that 80 range. And now let's go ahead and detune these oscillators like they were when we first started. Let's check that against our audio model. I think we've got it. All right, so creating vibrato, modulating the pitch of oscillators 1 and 2 using LFO1. Triangle wave is our waveform, and our destination is oscillator 1 and 2. That's all we need to do there. And this is an example of the LFO being pre-programmed into the patch. You can't change it in real time. It just is what it is. So you're kind of, I don't want to say stuck with it, but it is programmed as part of the patch. It's part of the sound. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and mute. And we'll move on to patch number 2. Let's go ahead and close Reason number 1 that we just finished programming. I'm going to bring up our mix window here and bring up Reason number 2, which is called Vibrato Tractor with Mod Wheel. Let's go ahead and click on that. And on this one, what we will be doing is we will be using the modulation wheel to control the amount in LFO1, again, to create vibrato, which is modulating the pitch of oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. Just to move things along, we are again going to be using the triangle wave and oscillator 1 and 2 for our settings for the waveform and the destination. So that's good to go. All right. Now what I've got here in my work area is I have a little MIDI keyboard controller with a pitch bend and a modulation wheel. And I'm going to go ahead and unmute this track. And I'm going to tap on my keyboard, and I won't hear anything because Pro Tools does not know where to direct the notes that I'm playing on my keyboard. They don't know what track to send it to. So I'm going to go ahead here and record enable the track. And now it knows that it's to direct the notes that I play on my keyboard controller to this track in Pro Tools. All right. Let me go ahead and move my modulation wheel. And you can see there it is there. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and listen to our finished patch and see what we're going for. So I'm going to mute that and... Now you can see the modulation wheel here moved when I played. Let's listen to our patch here. Let me unmute that. Mute the drums here. Well, the modulation wheel is definitely moving. Why is that? Well, that's because in case you're working at a location where you don't have a keyboard controller with a modulation wheel, I already have the controller data for the modulation wheel programmed into the track. There it is right there. Again, I just went from Clips View here, where it says Clips, click there, hold it down, go to where it says Controller, and modulation wheel is in kind of a yellowish orange color, which means there's data for that in the field. So I'll go there, drop my cursor. So the modulation wheel is moving for us, so I don't have to really do it in real time anymore. Okay, so that's programmed in. Now we need to go ahead and set the rate controls and the amount setting. Okay, so that'll be the key there. And then we have to figure out how to tell the modulation wheel what it's supposed to control or what it's supposed to do or what aspect out here in Reason it needs to control. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the amount here, or the rate, to 75. There we go, about there. There we go. Hit spacebar, see what we've got. Let me just turn up the amount control just to see if it's working. Okay, so what I want to do is I'll just do it with my mouse here. I'm going to turn up the amount control as the notes start playing. Okay, so I did it manually. Let me hit the spacebar again. Okay, so right now what I want to do is I want to get this modulation wheel movement to do exactly what the amount control did here. Okay, so I'm going to have to go over here to my destination section in my pitch bend mod wheel area and select LFO 1. Okay, so that means when I move this modulation wheel, it's going to control the amount pot here on LFO 1. So let me go ahead and turn that up. I'm going to put the real time here. Let me move my mod wheel here in my keyboard. I'm going to play a note, and now I'm going to push the modulation wheel. So that's a great feature for real-time performance if I'm taking a solo. And I want to add vibrato after the note while I'm playing in real time. Okay? So here I'm going to set my LFO pot to, let me see, right about 25 there. And let me play a note. So when I push my modulation wheel all the way to the top, it's pretty much the same as me opening the modulation or the amount pot up to, let me put it at 25. Oops. Let me turn that off. There we go. And let me go ahead, just so you can really see it, let me take my modulation data out of there. There we go. That's with me just pre-programming the amount control right there. Let me turn that off. Let me do a Command-Z to get the modulation data back in there. So that undid my erase, okay, or delete that I did. Now let's go ahead. Now instead of me turning up the amount control there, I'm essentially turning up the amount control here. Let me turn it up all the way. Okay? So it's essentially the same as turning up this amount control here, except I'm doing it with manually or with control information with the modulation wheel right there. So I'll put it at 24. Okay, let me take that out of record. Let me compare that with our audio model. And I believe we've got it. Let's stop here and we'll pick up in the next video, part 3 of this series, to complete the rest of these subtractor patches for this lab.